Hello, Yaismar. Good evening. I'm really sorry for the internet situation, but we now have this way to see the class. I'm gonna record a video and you're gonna study it, okay? So, today we're gonna go ahead and again study Going to the Supermarket, Unit 6. Okay? Now, the objectives of this lesson, the objectives of this lesson is 1, to remember previous content, and number 2, talk about frequency in general. Okay? So, let's start remembering. We're going to remember vocabulary first. Once, twice. Now we have once and twice, but after 3, remember, is 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and so on and so on. Pay, times, exactly, remember the S pronunciation, times, month, 3, go, went, buy, bought, do, did, aisle, take, and took. Now remember that go is present, went is past, buy is present, bought is past, do is present, did is past, take is present, took is past. Okay? Pounds, pounds, pounds. Nuts. Remember the TS pronunciation. Nuts. Groceries, groceries. Remember that the pronunciation of the last letters is very important in English. Groceries, the S. Bag, bag, bag. Don't, don't. Excellent, very good. Okay, so let's remember now talking about the supermarket. Let's remember what things did you buy last time in the supermarket. So I bought, and then we have, 2 bags of salad, 3 bags of coffee, 2 bags of bread, 1 bag of 5 tomatoes, 1 bag of onions, around 3 big onions, a bag of peppers, around 4 big peppers, remember the S's, limes bag, around 8 limes, 1 bag of tender chicken, around 20 slices, 1 bag of pork, around 8 or 7 slices, nuts, 1 box of nuts, around 5 types of nuts, 1 bag of mozzarella cheese, 3 packages of harina pan, and there are other 2 that we missed. 2 bottles of almond milk, and 3 pounds of fish. So those are the articles or the groceries you bought last time on the supermarket, right? So now remember how to describe your last visit to the supermarket. So last time I went to the supermarket, I bought vegetables and fruits. First, I bought vegetables and fruits. They were on the same aisle. I bought 1 bag of salad, 3 onions, 5 tomatoes, 3 big peppers, 1 bag of limes, 1 bag of mushrooms, 1 bag of spinach. After that, I went to the bakery aisle and took 2 bags of bread, and 3 packages of harina pan, 1 packet of cookies, and 1 packet of tortillas. Then I went to the freezer aisle and bought 1 bag of pork, tender chicken, 3 pounds of fish, and 1 bag of beef steak. Next, I went to the nuts aisle and bought 1 box of nuts and 3 bags of coffee. Finally, I bought mozzarella cheese and 3 bottles of almond milk. Okay, when you read this and practice this, practice the pronunciation at the end of each word. Fruits, vegetables, supermarket, went, salad, bags, pork, pounds, steak, nuts. Okay, remember to practice almond, milk. So we also practice the pronunciation. We have the TH sound that is like, we have the T sound that is T, we have the D sound that is D, we have the G sound that is G, G, G. We have the TS sound that is T, S. We have the ST sound that is ST, ST. We have the K sound that is K, K. We have the GS sound that is GS, GS. Like bags. Okay, so practice those and then read this and each of the endings. Very important, each of the endings, practice them. Now, we're gonna go and talk about frequency, okay? So, first, we learned about a specific frequency, okay? Let's remember this, a specific frequency. How often do you go to the supermarket? Now, how often entails frequency question. Do is present, and sorry, this is wrong. This is present. Let me correct it. Present. And you is a person. Sorry. Okay. And go to the supermarket is the action. Go to the supermarket is the action. So, how often do you go to the supermarket? I go to the supermarket twice a day. Remember, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. That is specific. I'm sorry. Specific, okay? So, specific frequency. We have times, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and then we have the period. We have day, week, month, year, or semester. once a day, twice a week or twice a day, 3 times a day or a month, 4 times a year, or 5 times a semester. Do you understand? Now, how often do you do yoga? You can say, I do yoga 3 times a week. You got it? Now, if I change the person and instead of you ask about, for example, Daleska, how often does, because it's third person, Daleska go to the beach? She goes to the beach 3 times a month. That's an example. Now, if I change the time and then say, how often did you go to yoga last month? I went. Remember, went is the past of go. I went to yoga twice a week last month. Now, to finish, we're going to talk about, frequency. But this time, we're going to talk about the general context of frequency. We have first, always. How often do you go to the beach? I go always, or I always go to the beach. All the time. That is pretty much like always. How often do you go to the beach? I go all the time to the beach. Or I go to the beach all the time. You can also say every day is another general expression. It's not specific. It's no, I go to the beach twice a month. That's specific. This is general. I go to the beach all the time. Then we have often. Often means a menudo. And some people pronounce often. Okay? I go to the beach often. Voy a la playa a menudo. I go to the beach often. Sometimes. Sometimes means a veces. Now remember, sometimes. Every now and then. This is very, very popular in American English vocabulary, okay? Every now and then. Every now and then means it means de vez en cuando. Exactly. De vez en cuando. Every now and then. And finally, never. Or almost never. Okay, so if we practice, we have then the specific context. Okay. How often do you go to the supermarket? So this is the specific context. I go to the supermarket twice a month. So how often in general context is twice a month? Twice a month might be like often, a menudo, yeah. Let's say I go to the supermarket often. And then, comma, twice a month. I go to the supermarket often, twice a month. You can put a connecting word like around twice a month. Or about twice a month. And you're going to do that with all of this. How often do you work out? I work out 3 times a week. That's, let's see, 3 times a week is like all the time. You can say, well, I work out all the time. I work out all the time. About or around 3 times a week. I work out all the time. So the first is that you put the general and then you put the specific, okay? Let's do a third example. How often do you go to the park? You can say I never go to the park. That's just